good morning to Sew Let's Sew with Wendy. Today we're making another project from the Christmas book that we've been looking at, and today it's going to be the candle table runner. Now mine isn't going to look exactly like this because this isn't my book, so I can't give you the pattern, but when I've made it previously, I do one flame there, I don't do the bottom one, and I put the next flame there, so they're alternate. I'll show you how to do it anyway. So first of all, you need a piece of backing fabric. This one is 31 by 18, and that's because my table's quite big, so I need quite a biggish table runner. I'm using Calico. I find Calico's brilliant for using as backing fabric when you're doing appliqué. This again, I get this from Amazon. I think I buy it in 20-metre pieces, and then I roll it up onto an old tube that I kept from a bolt of fabric I had years ago. So I'll put a link below the video just in case anybody wants this, and it is the lighter weight one. To prepare it to take the appliqué, I've used Best Press, and again I'll link that below the video. It's brilliant stuff. It just gives the fabric a little bit of extra texture and stops it from creasing up. So that's the backing fabric. For your candles, you need as many strips as you want candles, and they're 6.5 inches long by 1.5 inches wide. Now I've pre-cut them, and then what I'm doing is I'm cutting the Bonder web in quite small strips and just doing a strip, because all I want it really is to be kept onto the backing. So I could have Bonder webbed the whole thing. That's not a word, is it? Bonder webbed. I could have covered the whole of the back with the Bonder web. But I'm always mindful that these Bonder webs are quite, or you know, heat and bond or whatever it's called, quite expensive. So whenever I can, I'll try and use a smaller strip than the piece of fabric that I'm working on. For the flame on top of the candle, in the book there is a template, but I've just been drawing them. And it doesn't matter if they're all different, because at the end of the day they're flames and they're moving. So let me pull you down to the desk, and I'll show you what to do next. Right, so I'm going to take my backing fabric and I'm just going to fold it in half long ways and just do a crease down the middle. Now this crease is going to help me with the placement of my candles. So there we go. So there, now I know the centre of my, the centre of my work is. Let me just pop this little iron up there out of the way. Now I've cut out my flames and I've cut out my candles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start placing them on the centre line, and it'll be going this way for this one, and next door will go this way, and next door will go that way. And obviously you do as many candles as your piece of fabric allows. Now somebody asked me about peeling off the Bonder web. Now what I do is I get a pin, and let me just get this, you need something hard to rest it on, and I just score down there with the pin, and then you'll see that the Bonder web breaks and lets you peel it off. There we go. So I'll do this one facing up. Now this Christmas fabric that I'm using is really pretty, but it's one of those that really frays, and it can be a real nuisance. So I'll just do another one, and then we'll put the flames on. So here's my centre line, so I'm going to be popping that about there. We get rid of some of those fray bits. And then I've got my flames that they're not all the same, but then two flames are never the same, are they? So again, just give it a quick score with a pin on something hard, and then if you just fold it, you'll see that it starts to come away. And then I'm just placing the flame on the candle. And I'll just do one more. So split the bonder web, peel it off. I mean, these pieces are actually so big that you could probably do it without bonder webbing at all. Let me just move that up a little bit. And then I'm kind of overlapping the flame on the candle. And press it down. So I'll carry on doing this and then I'll come back to you. Right, so here we are back at the desk. I've placed some candles on. When I started to place them on, this piece of backing fabric is 18 inches wide and the candles at 6.5 were too long, so I've chopped them down to 5 inches. So 5 inches long by 1.5 wide. And as you see, I'm staggering them as opposed to putting a flame on both end or putting a candle both end. I just think it looks better personally. I've already stuck them down. Now I don't know if you can see, but this fabric is very, let me just, can you see it's very frayy, and there are loads and loads of bits of loose threads, which I'm going to use my snippers for. These are brilliant for doing that. So you just hold it and clip. It's a lot easier than trying to use a pair of scissors. And again, if you're interested in these, I'll pop a link below the video. Right, so the next stage will be to take this over to the machine to stitch it on, which is what we'll do next. Right, so here we are at the sewing machine. I've selected a zigzag and I've made mine 3.0 wide by 1.5 long, and put my needle down. Trying to film this so you can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to zigzag. Then I'm going to pivot and turn. And then the same thing again, pivot and turn. And then at the top of the candle, I'm going to start sewing the flame. And then just sew the bottom of the, oops. Just sew the bottom of the flame. Then I'll just do a locking stitch and cut my thread. Now I know when I've made this before, it's nice if you can do some sewing down the body of the candle. And this is the card that came with my machine. And it shows you, you know, all the pretty stitches that you can do. And I think when I did it before, I did, I think it was a couple of rows of the little snowflakes. So I'll just do that and then I'll show you what that looks like. So snowflakes is 17. And we'll just leave it at whatever its default setting is. And I'm going to try and do 3 rows. So I'm going to start in the middle of the first candle, do a locking stitch. I gave up trying to cut the frays off this red fabric. I mean, it's beautiful fabric, but oh, it's awful to work with. So I think I'll do it when I've finished sewing. There we go, and just do a locking stitch. And cut. So that's the first line, and I'll do one halfway between the gap from the end to the middle. I'll do another lot, so do another locking stitch. I mean, obviously, if your machine doesn't have this stitch, you can do what you like. You can do any other fancy stitch, or even you could just do like rows of straight stitching, and maybe if you had some pretty yellow thread, that would be nice. For ease of seeing, I'm just doing this in white. I think when I did it before, I would do the stitching around the edge of the candle in red, and then use a yellow stitch for the flame, but I don't think you'd see it, so let me just quickly finish this off. So if I carry on sewing, I'll show you what it looks like when we've finished. Right, so I finished sewing the first candle, and there it is, and it's starting to look quite cute. I'll go ahead and finish this this table runner, and I'll show you in the next video what it looks like. Just to recap then, the candles, if you're using an 18-inch wide piece of fabric, which this is, your candle stem should be 5 inches long and 1.5 wide, and then just freehand the flames, which is what I did, and then do pretty stitching down the centre of the candle, and then just zigzag all the way around the outside. I think what I'll do is I'll finish all the candles off, and I'll show you how I would put a border maybe, and some backing and binding on it, and hopefully that would look really nice on your Christmas table. Don't forget, you can use any colours you like. You don't have to use red and yellow. You could use beautiful gold coloured candles, might be quite nice, and the flames could either be cream, yellow, gold, or even red. It's up to you. I hope you found this useful, and do let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to do. So thank you so much for watching, and as ever, take care, and I'll see you soon.